Alrighty, this is day 3 of the Talk to Camera Challenge, and I'm super excited for this video today, but more importantly, I'm really feeling the heat. Today is Christmas Eve, and today is all about checking the posture and seeing how you feel in your body. And last time when I did this video, I struggled quite a bit because I switched a lot of things around. I switched the environment that I was filming in, and I switched the camera that I was filming with, and I even switched the type of topics that I was talking about too. Before on day 1, I talked about something that I was experiencing, so it was very natural for me to just speak my thoughts as I was thinking them. But then on day 2, I switched to a topic of something that I'm supposed to be knowledgeable about, and that just changed everything for me as I was doing the day 2 video. So on day 3, today I'm going to challenge myself again, and I'm going to stick with the same environment, the same composition, the same key light and fill light and rim light and everything. But I'm going to change one thing. I'm going to talk about a experience as I'm having it so that it feels a little bit more natural as I'm doing the video. So today is all about the posture and paying attention to how I am speaking on camera, how I am standing in front of the camera, where my feet are, how grounded I feel, and just getting a little bit better each time that I hit record on the camera. My first talking point today is, what am I noticing physically? And most importantly, how do I normally sit and stand? Well, normally when I work, I'm a little hunched over. I remember always looking in the mirror and having people tell me all throughout my life that, hey, you have kind of a bad posture, you kind of hunch over. And it comes from years and years of sitting in front of the computer and playing piano and playing guitar and doing all these things that require me to have a bad posture. But when I'm in the camera, I notice that when I have that same posture, it dampens my energy a little bit. And so what I need to be able to do is to be able to sit in front of the camera and sit up straight with a good posture. And now automatically I feel a shift. I feel that my air is coming out. I feel like I'm naturally speaking with my diaphragm, and I feel more grounded as I speak in front of the camera. I'm not so much having this tensed up energy where I'm speaking with my throat, or I'm speaking with my nose and holding all of it in. Instead, what I'm doing is I'm actually speaking with my diaphragm as I'm more grounded in front of the camera. And it actually feels pretty cool. You might even be able to notice a shift. I mean, think about this. This is me talking in front of the camera, kind of like how I normally sit. And this is me talking elevated, grounded, sitting up straight with the proper posture. This is what this feels like. And it's really cool, actually. So yeah, I didn't realize how much I would just hunch over and how much it would kill the videos every time that I would try to make them. But just this one simple shift of sitting up straight, having the posture upright, changes everything, and that's exciting. So the third point is one small adjustment that I'm making, which automatically I discussed sitting up straight, having my posture going in that way. But another thing that I noticed that I'm starting to make is I'm actually feeling more comfortable looking into the camera. And not just seeing it as a camera, but seeing it as a place to record my thoughts. Yesterday this environment was really interesting because it was uncomfortable for me. It just felt unnatural. Normally, on day 1, I recorded myself sitting on the desk and talking naturally. But instead, but on day 2, what I did was I challenged myself and put myself in front of a key light and fill light. And it just felt really unnatural. I feel like, man, I'm really inside of a studio type setup right now. And another change that I naturally kind of just tensed up because I felt uncomfortable. And I noticed that in life, whenever I would feel uncomfortable, whenever I feel shy around people, I would tense up. and I would ultimately talk in that way and have less energy and less presence. But today in this video, I'm excited to see the difference now after making this shift with my posture. And I almost have to kind of catch myself, instead of just hunching over, hunching straight, I catch myself and I just imagine my head just being held up by a pin. I remember watching Love Island with my wife, funny enough, Love Island in UK, and there was this one contestant that was praised for her posture, and everyone was asking her, how do you have this amazing posture? And when she revealed it, it was one simple little cue, and that was to just imagine that there is a rope holding your head up straight. And so that's what I'm gonna try to imagine as I do the rest of this video. Another thing that I'm noticing is my feet planted straight and firmly on the ground. Before, one thing that I would notice that I would often do was I would have my feet, I would kind of be sitting on my toes. And automatically, it creates this energy of wanting to kind of run away and walk away. It's almost like I'm preparing to get off the chair. But when I put my feet on the ground, when I put my toes and my heels on the ground, something changes. All of a sudden, my energy shifts, and I just become someone who feels grounded. I feel like I belong here, like I'm supposed to be here. This is my place. This is the space that I'm claiming. So it's really interesting, all the physiology and how that impacts the way that you show up and your presence on camera. Another thing that I'm also noticing as well is my shoulders. Another thing that I would kind of do is I would kind of tense up my shoulders. And this comes from years of bodybuilding and powerlifting and doing bench press and also hunching over. And I would always struggle with my shoulder in this way. But recently I noticed how just having my shoulders relaxed, looking up straight, and also having my chin level changes everything. Even when you're walking around, not even just filming on camera, but just when you're walking around in general, how just having your head up straight makes you feel like you belong and you're looking straight at the place, like this is the direction that you're going. It's kind of weak energy when you think about it to be looking around and your eyes moving all the time and everything is shifting your feeling. This person looks at you and all of a sudden you look away, and then this something else stimulates you and now you look away and you become this reactive person. But a grounded person knows exactly where they're gonna go. They look straight ahead at the place that they're gonna go, and they decide that this is where I'm walking, and it doesn't matter what things come, what things are in my peripheral vision. I'm going to continue walking down that path. I'm going to continue going that way straight through all the way to the end. And even when talking on camera, I noticed that just deciding that, hey, I'm going to look at the lens, I'm going to look at the pupil of this camera, and I'm going to look at it straight in the eye because I decided that I belong, that I get to do this. That it's up to me, that I don't have to cower and the camera doesn't have to intimidate me. I can feel awesome and look inside of the camera. So that's exciting. Now the next point is, how does posture change the way that I speak? Well, I noticed a couple things. I noticed that sitting in this position, it helps me to feel more grounded in the way that I speak and speak with more of a cadence. I remember watching lots of videos about speaking with cadence, and I would realize that's the thing that's missing, because when I would be around people that I felt intimidated from all my years of feeling small, I would speak in this type of way that was kind of very monotone and didn't really have any pattern interrupts or anything. It was just kind of very straight. Or maybe I would speak with lower volume, or I would speak in all these different kinds of ways that just didn't feel confident, didn't feel powerful. And I would always wonder why people wouldn't listen to me, why people would cut me off when I'm speaking. But speaking with cadence, and then I would hear about speaking with cadence and having pauses and having a higher volume, higher elevated volume, and not only just have an elevated volume, but even having vocal variety, using hand gestures, doing all these things naturally. And I would wonder, I would try to white knuckle my way through it, but I forgot to change one important thing, and that was my physiology. You see, I was trying to force cadence with bad physiology. But the truth is, physiology is what changes and what allows you to have that cadence naturally. Instead of trying to force cadence to come, you change your physiology and cadence naturally flows, because when your body is in this position, it tells your brain, hey, I belong here. I deserve to speak. I deserve to be here. And so what you do naturally is you command the presence. You speak in that way. You show up in that way. And everything changes. The way that you speak on camera, the way that you speak in front of people. So I'm going to take this information, and every time that I go out and I go and speak, I'm going to pay attention to my physiology, have my head up straight, have my chest level, have my feet planted firmly on the ground, and look exactly at the place that I decided that I'm going to look. And what I'm going to do from there is I'm going to show up differently, naturally. I don't have to force it. I'm just naturally showing up in that way. And that's exciting. Next point is tying this back to the challenge, the 30-day challenge that I'm on. The thing is that these videos aren't about me being polished yet. These videos are just about me practicing, getting the reps in. And it's crazy how on day 3 I'm already feeling a big shift. I changed my environment, but I forgot to change one thing, my physiology. And so I think that the key here is that when you change your physiology, you can be comfortable in any environment, because even though, naturally when you're in an environment that you're comfortable in, your physiology is in a place that allows you to command more presence, because you're comfortable in that place. And so you behave a certain way and you tell your brain to act this way. But the problem is that when you're in an environment that is new and unfamiliar, and you're thinking that it's unfamiliar and you're believing that it's unfamiliar, well then when you show up in that place and your physiology reflects that you feel that way, and you make yourself small and you try to hide and protect yourself, well then your physiology and the way that you show up, naturally you're going to be this type of way. But what's cool is that when you can intentionally alter your physiology in an environment that you're uncomfortable in, and it doesn't matter the environment, you're going to show up in a way that commands presence. You're going to show up in a way that allows you to speak with conviction and power and confidence and cadence everywhere that you go, which is really cool. Now, the next thing, we're going to just close out this video real quick and wrap it up here. And I hope that this ministered to you in some way, that you were able to understand and learn from this challenge about physiology.